We're going to start our first meal making the Dan Dan noodles. So let me make sure I've got everything. I've got the Szechuan chili crisp starter. I've got the rice vinegar. I've got the tamari. I've got the glass noodles. I've got 2 scallions. I've got, well, it says 2 garlic cloves, but yeah, whatever. I'm adding an extra. I've got ginger. I've got cremini mushrooms. I've got gailan, and I've got peanuts. I think I might actually, because I am always fiddling around with this stuff, I'm probably going to shred some carrot and put it in there too, mainly just for an extra pop of color and some more bulk vegetable. So we will see how this goes. Hi, everybody. I have made my first dish with the purple carrot box. We are going with the Dan Dan noodles. One thing I'm already noting when it comes to these, they really should put on these kits levels of difficulty, because thankfully I'm pretty good at cooking, and this was a lot. There was a lot of chopping. There was a lot of timing the steps right, but I think I did pretty good. This is the picture that they have. This is what I ended up with. Now, I know there's a few extras in there because I felt like it. Thought it needed a few more vegetables. So I've got some carrots that I added in, and also, as we lovingly call them, starfish arms, aka baby corn. This wasn't too difficult to make. It was just balancing a lot. And for it saying 30 to 40 minutes, even if I hadn't chopped up the additional vegetables, we're talking more like 50 minutes to an hour with all the chopping that we had to do. But, oh, and I also, because I wanted to make them as a side dish, I made some scallion baby cucumbers. I had them at a nearby dumpling restaurant and loved them, so I thought I'd try my hand at making them. So let's give this a shot. Let me see here. And yes, I know I probably should be doing chopsticks, but let's not go there right now. Okay. The vinaigrette for the noodles is very good. Okay, I was wondering when a little bit of spice was going to hit. It's not much. It's not much. And the vegetables, actually, they are just seasoned with the garlic, ginger, garlic, ginger, scallion, salt, and pepper. So there's not spice in this either. Okay, not bad. Not bad. I'm going to finish this off, I'm going to mix this up. One tip I also would give, when it comes to the gailan, you'll see these are pretty big pieces. And in the directions, it actually says to cook these at the end for only 4 to 6 minutes. And if you do that, unless you like your stems pretty crunchy, no, you're going to need to put these a little earlier, which is what I did because I thought they were way too thick. I added the leafy part at the end, but the stem part I added when I added the mushrooms to cook them down, of which the mushrooms are the substitute for the meat. And fortunately, I like mushrooms. This also probably would have done pretty well with a soy substitute, but we already have some tofu dishes that we're going to do, so that might have been overkill with all the tofu we're going to do. One of the mock meats might have been pretty good, but I do like that this is all vegetables, that it's, that there's no fabricated meat, though I do like me some mock meats. Oh, and I'm going to try, let's see how close I came as to getting the side dish pretty close to the restaurant. I did pretty well. So I think you might like that.
Okay.
Might like that.
So now, you said these are not the noodles that you thought you were going to use. What sort of noodles?
No, well, that's the thing. I didn't know if they were going to be a little more of an udon. These are a glass noodle, and actually, one thing that I realized could be easily made vegan with these kinds of noodles, because these are actually Korean glass noodles. is japchae, which actually contains a lot of the similar ingredients to this, except for the fact that instead of kind of a spicy vinaigrette, it's more of a sesame oil dressing in there. And I'm thinking in japchae, a lot of times they use egg, which obviously in vegan cooking you wouldn't do. But I bet you anything just egg would do really, really well in a japchae. So that might be something I might experiment with a little later in the month. I'm thinking, if you look at this, I was very careful. This is actually, if you compare this, obviously they're using a little bit smaller size plate, because I was pretty careful to try to get half of the portion, because this is supposed to be 2 servings. And it's a little on the small side, but it'll probably fill me up. And if not, I'll go find something to snack on later. But for the first one, I kind of picked a challenging one because there was a lot of cooking to do, a lot of chopping to do on this one, but I think it turned out pretty well, and I'm looking forward to the next one. Okay, doing a contents check for the next meal. It's going to be 1 pot bolognese, if you could read that. We've got the cavatappi pasta. We've got the Impossible Italian protein. It says it's spiced in there, and I've had their sausage, which is good, so I have high hopes for this. We've got, well, it says 2 garlic cloves. If you know, you know. I can't count. Tomato powder. I've never heard of that, so we shall see. 2 Roma tomatoes, which I'll have to say, they gave me a couple of sizable and nicely ripe ones, so that should be pretty good. Vegan Parmesan. I want to look up what kind they actually use, because vegan cheeses are tough to use, and if it's a good one, I want to know what it is. And parsley, for fanciness, I guess. So we will see how this meal turns out. Okay, we have day 2. This time we went with the 1 pot bolognese, which I will have to say, this looks better than the picture. It's at least more vibrant. They kind of washed it out a bit on the picture. And as far as this one was easier, a lot less chopping, didn't have to worry as much about the number of steps that went into it. It smells amazing, I'll have to say. I tried to look up what vegan Parmesan that they use, and I couldn't find out what it was, because I found 2 different things on Reddit. One is Follow Your Heart, and I can't Rebel something for the other one. I'm assuming this is probably the Follow Your Heart, because it doesn't have any nut allergens, whereas the other one is a cashew based, and I would hope that they would warn us about such things. The one thing I was concerned about that I thought was weird with this is it had something called tomato powder, and I was a little curious. I've never cooked with tomato powder before, and it did have me reserve a cup of water, which I was like, oh, just to loosen up the sauce, I'm sure. No, you do need that for the tomato powder. But the most important thing, let's go for taste. Let's find out how this is, because it looks good and it smells good. Let me see here. Oh, this is legit. This is legit. If you did not have a problem with soy, you might actually like this, because it's one of those dishes where unless you actually told someone, they wouldn't know it's vegan. They've got the seasoning mix so right. I was concerned about the Impossible Italian protein, and then I opened the package and smelled it and had Emily smell it, and we were like, hey, that's good. I've had their both their spicy and their regular sausage, and it was very similar smelling to that. This, yeah, I would 100% make this again. And I'll have to say, now, I'm sure that they used a slightly smaller bowl, because this is a big bowl. And this is half of the servings. The other, this is, because it's a 2-serving meal. And I do have the other. I divided up as best I could, half and half, and you get a good amount in this one. So this one, I'd say it's easy, tastes great, looks great. I'm very pleased with this one. I would, if I become, which I don't think I will, if I became a regular Purple Carrot user, I would get this one a lot. This would be in steady rotation. But what do you think?
Well, a couple questions.
Yes.
Number one, why wouldn't you become a regular purple carrot user?
It is a little bit expensive.
Okay.
I mean, it's convenient to have the things in package, but if you price those out compared to what you paid at the grocery store, I could bargain shop a little bit better.
Well, part of it is you are paying for the recipe.
Yeah, you are. You're paying for well, that's the thing. That's why these are a good, I think these are a good starter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see somebody that would do this all the time, because this is to kind of kickstart. I mean, I'm hoping a lot of people, if they want to try it out, try this. And I hope, well, the one thing is, again, I would hope that they actually have some cooking skills, because since they don't tell you any level of difficulty, if you're a beginner, this one you'd be okay with. This one is pretty easy step by step. There's nothing to involve. That one from yesterday, I think if somebody that was a beginner cooker started with that, they would get discouraged very quickly. So I think, again, purple carrot, you need to put level of difficulty so that you can, I mean, you want to get people using the service more, and B, you want more people to eat vegan. So I think it's one more thing to add, and it's not a big deal. And you could have, I mean, that's the thing. They could make it interactive with the people using the service.
Mm-hmm.
How hard, send a survey. How hard do you think this was to make?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, any good company wants feedback.
Always.
Yeah.
And the second thing is, what's the icky green stuff on top?
It's parsley, of which, as we point out, has no real taste. But it's pretty. I didn't mix it in because it didn't need to be mixed in. It doesn't really, but it does give visual appeal. But I know you're in fear of when I have cilantro. She's got the gene. I'm very sorry.
It tastes like soap.
I know, you've got the gene.
It tastes like soap and then just leaves that get stuck in your teeth, and there's no need for that.
Yeah. Well, but you can do a little bit if it's in like a pico de gallo.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of times if it's mixed into the pico, the acid from the tomatoes pretty much eat up the soapy. Yeah.
But still,
and also the onion and the garlic too. Yeah.
Well, onion and garlic can cover a multitude of sins.
Yes. Oh yeah. Today, I did get tired of chopping, and I need to get a garlic press. Though we did from FabFitFun, because we'll have to do that sometime. We'll have to do a FabFitFun reveal then maybe next month.
January 22nd is when we pick stuff.
Eee! But we got something called a grate plate, and you just grate your little thing on there, and you have a little brush that you brush it into that. And I have to say, for the garlic, it was easy, and I thought my fingers were gonna get all grated up. No, it was very easy. I think on that one the only drawback is the cleanup on it, but hey, we have a dishwasher, so.
Yeah, you lose a little bit into the nooks and the crannies of the plate.
Sorry.
But as you said, we have a dishwasher, and is it a lazy cooking device? Absolutely. Do we care? Absolutely not.
Well, that's the thing, because just all the mincing. Yeah. I should have used that yesterday, because the thing is, yesterday I had both garlic and ginger. Yeah, I should have got out the grate plate for that. But I was trying to be true to the recipe.
Yeah, be true to yourself.
Exactly.
Screw the recipe!
Well, I know how to cook, so this is just trying the combination of things. And also, I'm going to have to look for tomato powder.
But what is the tomato powder?
I think it literally is, I think it's like dehydrated tomatoes, so I think it would be the equivalent of almost like using tomato paste.
Oh, okay. So you rehydrate the tomatoes, and you put in the tomato powder with water. And
you put a cup of the reserved pasta water.
So
the starch from the water, the tomato powder, and that makes the sauce.
Oh, okay. That is a good idea.
It is. This is really good. I am looking forward to the seconds. Actually, yesterday's was good, but
yeah,
this is really this is one of those dishes that, if you're looking to win over someone that's not vegan but curious, yeah,
vegan curious,
bi-curious,
or V curious,
V curious, technically,
veggie curious.
Yes. Well, you're trying to get that. I mean, this one is a little bit cheeny for the, the pure vegan folk because it has a mock meat. But, there's nothing wrong with them in moderation like everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good, filling meal that I would, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to finish this off.
Mm-hmm.
The next recipe we have is for spicy Korean tofu bowls, which the ingredients are garlic cloves, gochujang, peanut butter, tamari, turbinado sugar, tofu, extra firm, green beans, looks like they got a good amount of them here, sesame seeds, and pre-cooked brown rice, and then vegetable oil and salt from the kitchen. Hi everyone, we have our next meal, which is the spicy Korean tofu bowls, and I will have to say, we're looking pretty similar. Now the rice is not, because I opted, instead of using the kind that you microwave, or I think you can also put it in stovetop, I went ahead and cooked some rice and barley with some onion in our rice cooker so we could have it for leftovers. And I'll save these for one of those times when I just need a quick meal or I'm heating up some leftovers. It won't go to waste, but I was like, might as well make the real deal. And Emily does not eat the tofu, but she got the other half and she's going for pretzel crusted chicken from Costco. We are, she has helped make me now an executive member, one of the elite. This looks and smells pretty good. Let me see here. I'll try the tofu first. I mean, the rice, it doesn't matter. It's one, different from the thing, and two, it's rice. But I'm curious about this. Not bad. Honestly, I would make it spicier. Because in the picture I do notice, it's pretty saucy looking. And so if I made this again, I would use more of the gochujang than they have in the little tiny cup that they give you. It's not bad though. It does have a little bit of a kick. The other thing I like about this one is that it has, it's not just spicy sauce. It's got peanut butter. It's got tamari. It's got a little bit of, just a tiny bit of sugar just to kind of take the sharpness off. But yeah, with a few little tweaks and modifications, I would definitely have that again. And then let's have the green beans. Oh, you can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with a good garlicky sesame green bean.
But did you make as much? Did you put in as much garlic as they wanted you to?
No, I wouldn't more, of course. I mean, to taste, as it were. The other thing that I did is, I only used about half of the sesame seeds that they gave because there were a lot. Now, so Emily may have a small sensitivity to sesame, not too sure. And the other modification I made to it is they were having it, let me see, vegetable oil, blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah, add remaining garlic, green beans, sesame seeds. I did put the sesame seeds in early because they were untoasted sesame seeds. So I wanted to make sure that it soaked up all the flavors and got a little bit toasted too. But yeah, pleased with the portion size. Pleased with the flavor. I'll make little tweaks, but not too bad. So yeah, this is one I would get and make again for sure. The rice is trying to make a break for it on the other thing.
Where would you rank this both in complicatedness of recipe and taste with the other two?
This one, I'd say it's middle ground on both.
Okay.
It's pretty easy because you take the peanut butter stuff and you just whisk it with some, it said, did it say warm water? Yeah, warm water. No, I did hot water because I knew gochujang and peanut butter were going to have a little bit of a difficulty getting emulsified together if I didn't have pretty hot water. But, that's just knowing that. But, I guess warm water, you just have to stir it more. But it is slightly more complicated than the bolognese, but and flavor wise in the middle too. So yeah, so of the three meals that we've done so far, it is in the middle. None of them have been bad. The only one, the Dan Dan noodles, that's the only one I probably wouldn't get again. There was just a lot to do. The flavor was okay, but you know, I wanted a little more. And I'll have to say on that one, I had the leftovers and the noodles, I don't know, they got chewier. So I don't know if I'd do that one again. I'll have to figure that out. But another good meal that I like. And she's eating the rest of the green beans, so I'll have to figure out what to do with the rest of my tofu and stuff too. But yeah, pretty happy so far. I think this one's actually worth the money. Hey there. This time I'm feeling lazy and I'm trying one of the purple carrot pre-made meals, but I haven't had one of these yet. It says, if you're about to reach for the microwave, don't. This is about the easiest meal prep ever. Just simply remove the film, stir, and dig in. Store in the fridge, not the freezer. Speaking of the purple carrot, I've had their frozen meals before. They're actually very good and also decent portion sizes for a frozen meal. So if you're wanting to get the lazy start to trying vegan, I actually would recommend those. It's kind of partially why I went ahead and signed up for the meal kits and for these, because I wanted to see how they compared to the frozen meals. Okay, let's do the big reveal. Damn! Okay, let's take off the stuff here because it looks like I got about a vat of hummus to go through here. Not that I'm complaining. Okay.
What is this thingy called?
This is the
vat of hummus.
Vat or damn hummus. It's the meze platter. M-E-Z-Z-E.
What's that mean?
I don't know. I don't know. You might have to Google. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, for the sound effects alone.
It is a style of eating that features a variety of cold and hot dishes, well, cold, dips, breads, and drinks.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, I can do that. Okay, we've got hummus, we've got roasted red peppers, and then we've got what looks like a seasoned quinoa of some type. I think so. Wait, what? Well, actually, bulgur. Okay. Ooh. Okay. No, it said stir it up, but I think I'm going to do a little different. I think I'm going to do the little piles of things.
On what?
Pita, of which when I get off camera, I am going to microwave the pita for a little bit because it's a little on the firm side. So tip, obviously don't microwave the whole container because warm hummus just somehow is not right. But yeah, I would definitely heat this up. But let me at least go for the flavors. Actually, let me spread out some hummus here. Oh, that's a thick hummus too. Oh, that's homemade. Actually, that's kind of the thing that when people make hummus homemade that they say it's a little grainy. It is a little grainy, but then you can tell it's homemade. Okay, I'm going to layer that. I love roasted red peppers. Actually, I think one of my other dishes, yeah, I have a little container of roasted red peppers. I think that's on the plan for tomorrow. Okay, let's give this a taste. Oh, that's good. That's good. This is one of those meals that if it's something that you would eat, that you realize it's not always that hard eating vegan. This is not something of Emily's style, but as we found out today, there are pieces that you can do of a meal. Also get all your veggies because veggies are awesome. Okay. Yeah, this one, if I were doing this on the regular, I would add this. I'll have to see how much this was in the kit. If it's over $10, no. But this is something I could see myself getting the components and having this for like I make a meal kit for work, like a little snack pack. And something like this would be really, really good. And the other thing is there's so much hummus here. I don't even know if I have enough little pitas. So I actually might go raid the fridge, get myself some carrots and stuff to finish this up. But flavor spot on. And you do actually get a good amount of food. So you're not, it says it's 550 calories. Yeah. Because that's the one thing. Hummus is actually a little more calorie dense than you would think, but it's also still packed with tons of nutrients and fiber. Let me see. I think that's the one thing I want to see. Yeah, this meal has 13 grams of fiber. So you're getting your fiber. Okay, well, another meal I'm pleased with. I'm right now pretty happy with purple carrot in general. This one looks like it's going to be pretty easy. They are Mediterranean bowls, which are going to contain lemon, agave, which is a sweet syrup if you don't already know, Dijon mustard, rice, cannellini beans, a shallot, parsley, and red peppers. This one's going to be a no-brainer. Welcome back. And this time we have a Mediterranean bowl, which is essentially you make a vinaigrette with lemon and agave and Dijon mustard, and you put rice, cannellini beans, shallot, parsley, and roasted red peppers. Let's try it first before I make any sort of call on it. I'll let you know the slight changes that I did. They weren't very much, and what I think of it. Okay, let me make sure to get a little piece of everything. Okay. This one, I'm going to go with average. To be quite honest, this, even though this looks just like the picture, and I also made sure to, since it's 2 servings, I made sure to do this is 1 serving. I measured it out. And I'm going to have to say, this doesn't strike me as an entree. This is really a side dish. I mean, I know it's got the components, you know, it's, let me take a look here. Yeah, I mean, it's got 11 grams of protein, which isn't super high, but it's, you know, decent. It's got a balance of carbs and fiber and fat. And it's 400 calories, which is a small meal, but it's really a side dish. I'm probably going to not finish this. I'll probably actually, I don't know, maybe get some of my, mock meat of some kind, and have it as a side dish. The other thing that it didn't say to do that I did is it didn't ask you to zest the lemon. And I'm like, I want the lemon flavor. So, I mean, I would definitely put that in the instructions. And to be quite honest, the agave's really not doing it for me. The little bit of sweetness, no. And the other thing that I also did is it pretty much has you just put everything in there and then eat it immediately, which I didn't. I had it sit for about half an hour because you have a vinaigrette and you have something like this and you need it to meld together, which it did a little bit more, but I don't know. This is not really an entree. It wouldn't be a whole meal. The flavor's okay, but I have to say so far, I mean, while it was far easier than the Dan Dan noodles, I wouldn't order this again. I would make a version of this, I'd say, because that's the other thing. It also seems to be missing a little bit. We've got, you know, some roasted red peppers. We got the beans. We've got some shallot. We've got some parsley, but I don't know. I don't know if I'd put maybe like some olives in there. In fact, I could do that because with the agave making it a little too sweet, if I put a little bit of olive in there, black or green, either or, it'll probably give a little more of tanginess that I was hoping for. But yeah, this one, okay. I wouldn't say it's up there on the list. Finally, we have the huevos rancheros tostada without the huevos part. That calls for black beans. It says 1 garlic clove. Yeah, right. Cumin, corn tortillas, extra firm tofu, nutritional yeast, or as the vegan folks know it as, nooch. The Alamo blend chili seasoning, the mojo sauce, and cilantro. So this one actually has a good bit of spice going on. This should be interesting. Before I go on my little mini rant about this recipe, I will taste it first, as One thing though, you'll see it's a little bit different than this, and I'll explain why. But I'm just gonna taste it and then we will pass judgment. Yeah. Flavor-wise, we're okay. It's not too bad. Here are my issues though. This recipe has so many flaws and is confusing. And anybody that doesn't cook regularly is gonna have a lot of problems with this. For one thing, instead of making it tostadas, I made them mini tacos because it had us frying the tortillas in oil and getting them crisp and all that. One, I do occasionally have issues with fried food. And the other one is I didn't see the point of doing that because there's a lot of ingredients on top of this, which would have made it hard to lift, awkward to eat. And also, here's the thing. The beans that you microwave in the bag with spices and nothing else and then mush up are dry. And so I added a little bit of oil just to try to get them slightly moist. The tofu, they have it do it in hunks instead of, meshing it into pieces, which with the dry spices and supposedly 1 teaspoon of oil would have made this dry as the Sahara. The only thing actually giving this moisture is the small thing of mojo rojo sauce, which the issue is it's supposed to be multiple servings. It's supposed to be 4 servings. How am I supposed to store this? They had other things that were in jars with lids, so what gives? The other stupid thing was, it says in the ingredients that 1 tablespoon of ground cumin divided. Okay, that makes sense. I didn't get the cumin container, but it was about this size. And it looked like about a tablespoon, because you divided that between the beans and the tofu. Then it has a tablespoon of nutritional yeast, which this had more than a tablespoon in it, but I do love me my nooch, so I just dumped it all in because, hey, they portion it. So if it was supposed to just be a tablespoon, why was there more than a tablespoon? Then it says a tablespoon of Alamo blend chili seasoning, which again, they portion, and it was about double the amount in here than the nutritional yeast. But it gets worse. It calls in the ingredients a tablespoon of Alamo blend chili seasoning. But in the actual ingredients, it doesn't have you put any of the chili seasoning in the beans, which fine. And then it says in the tofu scramble, it says add tofu, nutritional yeast, just half the Alamo chili, remaining cumin, and season to taste with salt and pepper. It says nothing about adding the rest of it. Well, wait, okay, so is it supposed to be a tablespoon? Half a tablespoon? It doesn't say. This recipe is ridiculous. Thank goodness I just dumped everything in, because as I was cooking it, I was noticing that the tofu was getting really pale, and I gave a little taste, and it was unseasoned, like worse than white people unseasoned. And yeah, no, so I just dumped all the rest of the spices in, and it's a little bit better. And I also put a little bit extra oil to soak it in to give it a little bit more moisture, because otherwise we'd have had dry beans, dry giant hunks of tofu, and a little bit of that sauce that you had to portion out. The other thing I don't get is, okay, you're portioning these, so why are the portions are all off? And the other thing is, okay, it's supposed to be 4 servings, which I assume it's supposed to be 1 tostada per serving. Doesn't expressly say that, because they don't say that, and it doesn't say it online. But they give you, well, it's supposed to be, they supposedly give you 6 they actually gave me 7. Hey, thanks for the extra one. But the stupid thing, it says, what is it? Tip, keep remaining tortillas for your own use. Well, you gave me 3. What am I supposed to do with the 3 extra? Juggle them? No! Foolishness. Thankfully, it tastes okay. I might actually go to the fridge. I've got some mashed avocado. Might put that on there. Also, I'm like, with the black beans, I think it would have done better to put them in the pan, saute some onion, put that in there, have some. This one is also lacking freshness, and there's no fresh vegetables. Thank God the it tastes okay, but we got some issues here. I will finish it. I'm going to doctor it up, but somebody that doesn't cook very much would be sorely disappointed in this recipe, so do better. But I do have one more thing to taste. We've got a bonus taste test that's not from Purple Carrot. We got Califia Farms horchata. It's rice and almond milk, and it's, I think, new, and I've not tried it, and I love regular horchata, so I'm fingers crossed. Let's give that a taste. Oh, it's good. It's good. It's almost, it's regular horchata. When you've had like the fresh made stuff, I mean, nothing could beat that. It's not quite as, not the word dense, thick, something. It has slightly less of a mouthfeel, but the flavor, they got the flavor. So yay, thank you for Califia Farms. Well, I'm going to go to the kitchen, get some extra stuff to put on this, get a container to put the mojo rojo in. And it's sad that this one was the last one that we had for the box, considering I had so many issues with it. But some of us can learn to adjust with that. Some of you might want to consider whether you're up for playing with the recipe. Okay, well, this is completing our box for the week. Next week actually has more pre-made things, mainly because back to work and kind of working around that. And I'll also try to come up with showing some of the things that I'm making on my own that I got on my own. So thank you so much for joining us on this little Purple Carrot journey, and we will see you next time. Bye!